Hello, honorable members of the clan. So let's go back to the Gauteng High Court where the contradictions for me. It's the contradictions for me. Guys, I don't know if you did pick up the contradictions in the testimony of Mr. Gininda. And another thing that I am requesting, I hope that the defense are going to be granted these particular requests, that they ask Zungu to write a composition of any story that he wants to tell. Because I want to see something. The grammar in the statement, this is the confession of accused number 2, that's Muzisibiya. The grammar, you can tell that it is staged, because at some point the grammar will sound correct. And then whoever is writing whatever it is that they are writing in that statement, then they will remember, oh no, I need to sound like a Zulu person directly translating Zulu into English. But they must not know, it must not be seen to be somebody who knows how to write English, or they get Zungu to write a composition of any story that he wants to tell, because clearly he's a good storyteller. I mean, he knows how to flip that guy like nobody's business. That's all that I want to see. I want to see something there. And also, I would like for Colonel Makubo to also be given a composition of any story that he wants to tell. I also want to see something there, because you can tell that, listen, this needs to sound very much like how an uneducated, or maybe a person that is literate, a Zulu person who's literate, but not necessarily good at writing English. I mean, we already know about our education system, that it is producing products that have no comprehension. Then some of them know how to read, but they have no comprehension. Some just don't know how to read and comprehend things. So I think maybe they might be picking a leaf from that. And another thing, if you listen quite closely regarding Umkulu, it now is starting to make sense to me, because the only tribe I think you and I know still practices its customs, and I'm talking about things like what are being said in the so-called confession. Like, we believe that when somebody passes away, you need to get cleansed. So whether the person passed away by sickness or passed away by car accident, by shooting, etc., and so we must get cleansed. So cleansed, we go to a Sangoma or Inyanga, those sort of people, to get cleansed. That's what happens in the Zulu culture. So now it's making sense why the accused, when they are going to smear the Senzo Meyiwa deletion, had to be Zulu people, because Zulu people, they still believe in these customs. And most of these guys, they work in the mines. Some of them are in Kabi, some of them whatever, they do whatever it is that they do. But the fact of the matter is, they must be illiterate, number one. Two, work in a mine or doing other businesses that they are doing, but must still be illiterate enough for us to able to sell this story to the people of South Africa. This is what I'm picking up. To be honest, I'm not saying that other tribes do not follow their customs and values when it comes, especially around the concept of death. Because I think Zulu people are still pretty much loud when it comes to the customs and values that needs to be practiced in terms of when there's a death in the family or elsewhere, or a death that may also be they've been involved in themselves. So I think that is why we are seeing 5 Zulu men on the stand, in the dock, accused of deleting Senzo Meyiwa. And the other thing that I am so much failing to understand, how is it possible that Zungu tells a story of how he was with everybody at Basotho Hostel prior and after the incident, and now we are hearing that, oh, we had a meeting at Basotho Hostel, then we walked to the Kumalo house, and then outside I decided not to go in but to stand outside and then let Marco and Makimba to go in, and then we heard gunshots, and then we no mention of Longwe Twala. And then after the gunshots, we ran to the car and we did not take anything. But Gininda yesterday says Kelly Khumalo's cell phone that starts with 072 was stolen and it was pinging at Mluleki. And now the supposed people that actually committed this crime say they took nothing. And then he says the statement that he's reading, or the confession that he's reading, it is true. And the only person who would know about what happened in the Khumalo house is the perpetrator himself. I know I'm wearing, I'm at home, so I'm a little bit, free. So if you see holes and stuff under my t-shirt, just know that I am free, okay? Before somebody makes a comment. Anyways, let's continue. And now, after the shooting, guess where Mr. Muzi Sibia is dropped? Yes, by the freeway, not far from Pasutu Hostel, under a, a street light. But what did Zungu say? They came back and they were acting strange, and then they celebrated with a bottle of Jameson. Do you see the contradictions here? Because this is what this whole entire case is based on. It is based on Zungu's testimony as a person who was with the perpetrators, meaning accused number 1 all the way to accused number 5. Yesterday we found out that no, actually the person that knew who the perpetrators of deleting Senzo Meiwa is Absalom Zungu, which happens to be Sizwe Zungu's father. Where's the logic in all this cookerization? Where is the logic in this cookerization is what I want to know, because it's not make sure. It doesn't make sense at all. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm picking up the wrong things. I've written notes. I've written so much notes, and in my notes, there are questions that I'm asking in between what Gininda is saying. I don't think even Gininda himself understands what he is saying. Because now and again, we'll talk about the drama between Mr. Mnisi and Gininda. And I agree with Mr. Mnisi, and I'll tell you why I agree with Mr. Mnisi in my following video. Because he pause Gininda in that court. Pause. So much so that even the judge feels almost paralyzed to put Gininda into order. It's interesting. It's so interesting what is going on in Judge Rata's courtroom. Gininda is the boss, whether we like it or not. Gininda is the boss, and now he is telling this court that this is the version that you need to take from me, because I'm the only one who's telling the truth here. But the grammar, though, I think the grammar, if we can get a, what do you call these people that do handwriting, these experts that do handwriting, those guys, they will be able to tell. But then again, you don't need that person. All we need is probably an English major or an English expert to say, once Zungu writes a composition of any story, as well as Mboto writing a composition of any story that he wants. Like composition we used to do back in high school in, was it language? Yeah, it was language. We need to get that done, because something not make sure about these confessions, and now I cannot wait to hear Ntanzi's own confession if it sounds similar. Because if it sounds similar, then we already know this is not it. This is not it. But anyways, guys, in my next video, we are going to talk about what actually transpired after the short adjournment. So I thought, let me just give you what is sitting in my heart, because as I'm listening to Gininda, some things are not making sense. I'm sure they're not making sense to you as well. The contradictions for me. And then the last thing, just to add this last thing, Gininda and them knew from years ago, according to his investigations, that Kelly Khumalo is the commissioner of the deleting of Senzo Meiwa. So why is she still a free woman? Because I'm sure if it was just an ordinary South African and the moment their name is mentioned, they would have been picked up. In fact, they will be accused number 6. So why Kenny Khumalo is still roaming our streets if she is the mastermind in the deleting of Senzo Meyiwa, according to this particular statement? Because it's not being considered as a hearsay. It's considered as a fact, evidence. So why is she still free? That's another contradiction that I'm not understanding here. I don't understand that. I don't know about you, but I'm just rubbing my two IQs together here because things are not making sense whatsoever. Other than that, let's see each other in my next video. See you soon. Bye.